As we all know, Tom Seaver is a baseball icon, from glory days to a tragic decline. His brilliant baseball career was finally overshadowed by dementia and unimaginable suffering. Let's explore the tear-jerking story of Tom Seaver. George Thomas Seaver was born in Fresno, California on November 17, 1994. Born to Betty Lee and Charles Henry, he attended Fresno High School and started his pitching days on the school's local baseball team. Seaver was a feeble kid, unable to make the most of size and strength. Tom had to make up for his genetics with sheer hard work and effort. He'd develop a solid control on the mound. Tom had some other hobbies too. He was fond of basketball, but baseball was his go-to. Seaver joined the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve as a true patriot. After completing his active duty period in the Navy, Tom went to Fresno City College. Afterward, Seaver received a scholarship to college baseball at the University of Southern California. But things weren't set in stone. The college administration was unsure if Fresno was unworthy of a scholarship. After a practice match, USC head coach Rod Dedeaux gave the go-ahead for Tom's scholarship. Tom was on fire at USC. As a sophomore, Tom scored 10-2 against the Trojans. Finally, drafting season rolled around in 1965. Major League Baseball was something that Tom would become a part of. A few rounds of the draft later, Tom wasn't sure, but he wasn't disappointed either. Finally, Tom was selected as a professional baseball player for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Seaver asked for a $70,000 contract, but the Dodgers lowballed him for a measly $2,000. Ouch! Young Tom signed his professional contract with the Atlanta Braves the very next year. This time, he was their top pick in the secondary draft. But Lady Luck wasn't on his side this time. It appeared that USC was supposed to play 2 exhibition games in the same year. Baseball Commissioner William Eckert voided Tom's contract. But another twist of events. USC considered Tom ineligible to play college ball matches because he had signed a pro contract. Tom Seaver's father was furious and threatened to sue, but Tom got a gust of luck. Other teams matched the Atlanta Braves' signing contract. Tom was finally in the minor leagues, and Jacksonville Suns is where Tom started his humble baseball career. With a 12-12 record and a 3.13 ERA, Tom started cementing himself in the minor leagues Class AA. The following year, Tom joined the New York Mets, and before everyone knew it, he stood out from the competition. Tom managed a spot in the All-Star game. To top things off, Tom was named the National League Rookie of the Year. He'd now achieved a 16-13 record, 170 strikeouts, and a 2.76 ERA. Rookie of the Year was in the presence of a baseball legend one time. The legend's aura alone made him a nervous wreck. He didn't know what to say. Tom just wanted an autograph from Hank Aaron. But before Tom could say a word, Hank Aaron fueled Tom with his words. "Kid, I know who you are, and before your career is over, I guarantee you everyone in this stadium will too." Tom was now a different beast. He started for the Mets on opening day in 1968. Tom had changed. He won 16 games and recorded over 200 strikeouts. The opposition was afraid. Tom was on his way to becoming a baseball legend. But nothing could top off what Tom managed in 1969, where he truly nailed his legacy. Tom won 25 games, with 9 complete game victories to his name. Everyone had to acknowledge Tom now. He gained his first National League Cy Young Award. Everything seemed too good to be true. But good things never last forever, right? Well, Tom had something sour coming for him in the future. But Tom's winning streak continued. 1970, Tom set a major league record by striking out 10 consecutive batters. In 1971, Tom led the league with a 1.76 ERA and 289 strikeouts. He continued to rake up 20 win seasons, tons of strikeout titles, and a pair of Cy Young Awards till 1975. Despite Tom doing so well, the Mets didn't give Tom what he wanted. Tom Seaver knew his worth. The Mets did too. Despite this fact, they lowballed him. Tom was annoyed. It was time for free agency. Top pitchers were getting money in the bucket loads, but Tom wasn't. In addition, Tom always had a journalist up in his business who wrote negative comments about him. He labeled Tom as greedy. But shouldn't a professional, high-performing athlete be paid for what he's worth? Of course. But Dick Young started taking things a bit too far in Tom's demands for a fair contract. Tom was handed a 3-year contract extension by team owner Lorinda DeRoulet. But the journalists started bringing Tom's wife into the matter. Dick Young published a false story. Tom's wife was goading him to ask for a pay rise. Tom was at his wit's end when he read it in the Daily News. He realized the Mets wasn't it for him. He immediately asked the management to be traded. This was dubbed as the Midnight Massacre on June 15, 1977. Tom was traded to the Cincinnati Reds, and he gave them their best winning season in baseball. Tom decided to return to the Mets, but the Mets thought who would in their right mind would want a high-salaried 39-year-old pitcher? Their loss. The Chicago White Sox swept Tom Seaver off his feet. The Chicago White Sox brought Tom in and proved the Mets wrong. The Mets bit their nails as Seaver's effective pitching for the White Sox scored his 300th win at Yankee Stadium in 1985. In 1986, Tom played his final match against the Boston Red Sox. Tom won his final match, amounting to 311 wins. Tom was now getting in on age. Recurrent injuries forced him to retire, but he inspired young pitchers like Roger Clemens. Tom officially retired in 1987 and stated he'd given all he could give to baseball. Tom was also inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Tom's words were, "It is the last beautiful flower in the perfect bouquet." Tom had it all. He had married his school sweetheart, Nancy, and was gifted with 2 beautiful daughters, Sarah Zaski and Ann Buckley. Tom decided to establish a vineyard in his retirement days. Things couldn't get any better for Tom Seaver. He had it all. But did he? Along the way, he started losing his health. Tom retired from baseball altogether. He worked at his vineyard. Tom's memory started deteriorating, a symptom of dementia or Alzheimer's disease. But Tom brushed it off and remained in denial. He continued to work on his vineyard. That's what all could think about. But on one peculiar day and countless months of denial, it finally hit Tom. Tom was working in the vineyard with his head worker. Tom had known him for well over 7 years by now. Seaver looked nervous as he stepped into his home and approached his wife. Tom had only a few words. I looked at him, and I didn't know his name. Tom was finally convinced to go see a doctor regarding his medical condition. After a barrage of tests and examinations, the results finally came in. The doctor told Tom he wasn't suffering from dementia. Tom was eventually diagnosed with Lyme disease, a bacterial infection caused by ticks. Lyme disease isn't all that complicated. Adequate medical dosage and taking care of your health is all that Tom needed. But things started to go downhill from there. His public appearances started to dwindle. Tom Seaver didn't even attend the Baseball Writers Association of America, where members of the 1969 league banded together for their 50th anniversary. Many didn't see Tom Seaver at major baseball matches anymore. Had Tom become a recluse? Was he holing up at his estate in Diamond Mountains, California? The world required a statement. Is Tom Seaver okay? Just what was going on? After much pressure, his wife made a public announcement to the baseball world. Tom Seaver, now 74, had developed full-blown dementia. Tom started forgetting everything. He couldn't even remember long-term acquaintances. Nausea, sleep disorder, chemical imbalances. Age catches up to you. Tom Seaver was now a shell of his former self. He wasn't even there anymore. On August 31, 2020, during the early hours of Monday, Tom Seaver peacefully passed away in his sleep at the age of 75. Tom suffered from the long-term effects of Lyme disease and developed Lewy body dementia. The pandemic had just started, and from a trifecta of diseases, Tom's borrowed time was over. Tom Seaver was a testament to the greatness of baseball. He was a being of firm character, sportsmanship, humility, and integrity. He deserved to be a part of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Tom Seaver loved baseball, and baseball loved him. Baseball changed Tom forever. He went from being an amateur to being patted on the back by his favorite baseball legends. In those moments, Tom didn't play baseball for the money. He was paid before as well. But those small gestures made him realize he was finally a professional baseball player. Tom also thanked baseball for giving him a second life. He got to work in the great outdoors making wine, something he, his family, and many other people could enjoy. That wraps up the life of Tom Seaver. The long goodbye has ended, and the Mets franchise is gone. Stay tuned for new and tributes to baseball legends. Till then, see you next time.